sitting in my spot.
That's right.
What are you doing?
You got up to pee and I took your seat.
Oh my God.
Teaches you for getting up to pee.
I didn't say squatters' rights when I left. That was a thing we did as kids all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Like you would get up and you would like have to say squatters' rights. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. Maybe there's a thing that's...
Because you squat to pee and then you have the right to your chair when you get back.
I guess. I don't know.
But like I never had a chair until I was 22 years old.
You had to stand for 22
I
years?
sat on the floor.
No, don't destroy this narrative that I built in my head already.
From the time I was fucking born until 22, I stood.
They stood you in a corner, like they leaned you up.
Like I got to kindergarten, everybody else had desks and chairs, not me.
No, they're like, this boy stands.
This boy stands. Your primer is taped to the wall, and you've got a chalkboard. You do your own work standing up.
So you must have like really good, strong legs.
I used to.
What happened to them?
I sat down.
Wow.
That's true.
Speaking of sitting,
yes.
I don't have a segue. I just wanted to say that.
Speaking of sitting, I don't have a segue. See, because you stand up on a Segway, right?
Oh God, you're right. Damn. No, on the way up here.
Yes.
You had the butt warmer on in your car.
Yeah, the seat warmer.
That made my ass sweat.
Yes.
Which generally I like.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ass sweating, but the hotness of the seat warmer because we're coming into fall.
Hot crossbuns, right?
Oh, we never said hi to each other.
Oh, hey, Amber.
Hey, Dave.
What's going on?
Let's talk about my hot, sweaty ass.
Yes.
Go
on.
So we're coming into fall, winter, which I love.
I do too. Yes.
But I love summer a lot.
Mm.
Like it's probably my favorite season.
Really?
Yeah. Because I like to sweat normally.
Okay.
It's weird. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I don't like sweating, ass is fine.
Okay.
Is under boob sweat.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to deal with this yourself?
I mean, I'm a girthy gent, so like, I mean, there is a little boobage there, but it generally does not generate its own copious. I mean, it sweats like the rest of my body.
Did you sweat in like an even sweatness across your body?
I don't know. I've never measured that.
We should do that. You should do it. I'm not going I'm not participating.
I mean, I would imagine like the top of my feet don't sweat like the rest of my body does.
It's so strange because like some people seem to sweat more than others, and I don't get it.
I sweat more than I used to, and I don't know if that's because I'm fatter. But like used to be, but I also think there's something to be said for acclimation. Like there were a couple summers I worked outside, and like man, nothing. Whatever,
really?
90 degrees, cool. Let's bring it. Now it's like 75 and a little bit of humidity, and I walk outside and I'm a disaster.
Oh man,
like soaking my shirt, like it's awful.
Like I tend to be okay in like high humidity. Like I've been to Florida on vacation several times in July and August. And like outside all day long, and I'm okay with that feeling. But I think it's just like when stuff starts to overlap other stuff, it's when it starts to become gross.
Yeah.
And
so boobs.
So boobs.
Yeah. Well, you've never been introduced to testicles.
Not on myself.
Right.
I don't know the feeling.
Right. It's not,
I have met some testicles.
Like generally, I don't have a problem with my testicles. I think they're fine. We've kind of come to a truce.
Do they sweat in the summer? God, we're talking about things I'm not sure we should be talking about now, but whatever. But I'm interested in like we've talked about this before. If I could switch bodies with somebody and understand like their experience, I'm interested in that.
All right.
And so I'm trying to imagine like tiny little tits.
Right. It's
between my legs.
Yeah. But like when they're really tender.
Tits or boobs? Or boobs or testicles is what I meant to say.
Well, testicles are permanently tender.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know that, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean I know in theory.
Right. And so there's that problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sweat a lot. And they're hairy, which makes it worse to me.
I was going to say, like, hair. I thought hair is supposed to be like, what's the purpose of body hair? Is it to keep us warm?
Not me. It's to make me look more like a hideous monster, I believe.
Because I wonder why. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of like a sweaty armpit situation where like I've shaved my arms. Sorry, everybody. I'm sure this is exactly what you wanted to hear when you push play.
Do we need a disclaimer?
I'll put a disclaimer at the beginning.
Body
being
horror.
Like, this is not really just body horror. It's just like bodies in general. I guess it is horrible if you think about it.
I mean, it's not though. Like,
It's
I don't
natural.
know. Yeah, whatever.
I guess. Do you?
Like, I have a pretty high threshold for grossed out by body, like natural body stuff. Like, if you start cutting your fingers off, I'm really going to squick out quick. But,
Yeah.
like, you're sweaty and gross, man. Like, welcome to the world.
And randomly hairy.
See,
Do you
I'm pretty uniformly hairy at this point.
Do you ever? So you don't have like random one-off hairs, like are like super super long?
No. I mean, occasionally I get weird old man eyebrows.
Okay,
that
yeah.
are like a foot and a half long.
Yeah, like they're like the entire length of your
Like
eyebrow.
Andy Rooney comes out, and it's like I got this eyebrow I can wrap around my finger, but
Gross.
I have that. But no, other than that, I don't.
So I'm like feeling my shoulder right now,
Yeah.
as you can see. No one else can.
Right,
And
right.
There is on my right shoulder near a chickenpox scar that I have.
Okay.
That this like really thin white hair will grow.
Huh.
And I've gotten to the point where I've never like measured it, but it feels like it's probably like, I don't know, 3 inches long.
Awesome.
It's not though. It's so weird because like
Why?
I'll scratch my back and then I find this really long hair. Just
But
growing.
why is that not awesome to you?
I don't want that.
Really?
I don't want just one random long ass hair.
Like, where is it?
It's on my right shoulder.
Okay.
I can't feel it. I think I pulled it out
Yeah.
recently.
Well, sometime when it gets really long, I'm really curious to see it.
No, gross. I don't want to show you my hair.
Aww. I thought that was the whole point of this thing.
No, God. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird how like bodies will produce like just grow things randomly. Like
Right,
there's something
right.
telling my body, right?
Right.
Like,
There's some weird thing that's like,
saying,
oh, super long white hair. Let's go.
go right there. Like on this quadrant of this person's structure, we need
Right.
you to grow and rapidly produce, but specifically thin and white and wispy.
The neighbors, nah, don't worry about it. Just, you don't need to grow hair. But this guy, long white hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like other things like that. Like how scars happen. Like I've had this chickenpox scar for years and years and years. I think I got chickenpox when I was like, I want to say 6 or 7.
Yeah. Did you know that it's easier for kids to get scars than adults?
Really? I thought it would be the opposite.
Because kids heal more quickly.
Oh, that's what causes the scarring?
And that's what causes the scarring is your body doesn't like knit it together exactly right.
Right.
But it's going so quick.
Is that why it's kids' bones are so much easier to heal too?
Mm-hmm.
it's
Exactly.
more
That's
flex-
exactly it. Yeah. Yeah.
So flexy?
Well, I mean, not even necessarily that they're flexy. It's just that they heal quicker.
The Wolverines?
Yeah. If my kid breaks their arm, like 6 weeks later, they are like 110%, like better than they were.
Huh.
If I break my arm, like it's gone. Like
you might as well throw it in the wood chipper.
like just give it to the dog to chew out in the front yard for a while.
Yeah. That's why at one point in time, I was thinking about doing roller derby.
Mm-hmm.
This was later in my, like, not late, I want to say like 7 years ago. So I was like 23, 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman who was telling me about it, like getting me interested in doing roller derby, she was like, I want to say 42 at the time. And she was like, she had stopped because she had broken her leg when she was 39, 38, and she like did not recover from it
Right.
at all. I mean, she recovered, but like to this day,
To this day.
there's a leg skating around.
Right. She just one leg going around the track over and over.
Yes, the haunted halls, roller derby halls. No, so she was like, if you're gonna do this, you should start doing it now because you'll heal faster and better, and you'll have a higher recovery time. If you get past 35, she's like, stuff starts to
Get
get
out.
harder.
Yeah.
And I never did roller derby because I don't want to break bones.
Right.
Have you ever broken a bone?
No, not to my knowledge.
You've chainsawed yourself.
I've chainsawed myself. I've burned myself. I've done a lot of things to myself, but to my knowledge, I can't break a bone.
I think, I mean, challenge accepted.
I
I
mean,
will break your bones.
To my knowledge.
I think you would know if you broke your bone.
Like, I've got a crooked pinky.
Yeah, I've got a crooked middle
like,
finger.
when I line them up, like, one's like...
Wait, yeah.
And so I think it's... yeah.
This one's more crooked than the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it now that they're lined up.
Because this one, my left hand's middle finger is crooked because when I was playing basketball, I went to catch the ball and it just hit me straight on.
That's what happened to the pinky, yeah.
Just like...
But, like, it was never treated or...
No, because what are they going to do? They're going to give you aspirin and tell you not to move your hand.
I mean, if they're not going to give me a chair, they're not going to take me to the doctor.
Fuck no! They're going to make you stand on that pinky.
That's right. That's right. They said, good job, loser. Now that you've hurt yourself, you don't get dinner. So, have you ever heard of Morgellons disease? I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called?
Well, I can see it written up on the board.
Well, we wrote it down as a topic, but like now we're giving away the shop secret.
Shh, we don't write anything out. We don't plan.
This is just like spontaneous conversation between two old friends.
Yep. After eating Taco Bell and some lemon thin Oreos.
Gosh, you know what? We posted that episode months ago.
You know what? They're still fresh and delicious thanks to their fresh seal. Oh God. Dave, I'm glad I ate.
Hi, Amber.
I'm glad I ate these cookies before you started.
Have you ever heard of Morgellons disease?
I briefly saw a hint of a description on my phone before I put it down very quickly.
And why? I mean, what?
Something about skin lesions. Something about bugs and infection.
No, there's no bug.
It says bugs.
No. According to Wikipedia, the general medical consensus is that it is a form of delusional parasitosis.
What does that mean?
It's a delusional infestation.
Okay.
It is a delusion in which individuals incorrectly believe that they are infested with parasites, insects, or bugs, when in reality, no such infestation is present.
It's not just a mental thing, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all just mental? Is it all just mental?
Well, I mean, I think it's one of those unexplained things, as I understand it, because it is like there's no official diagnosis, there's no official like cause, there's no official like anything. But
is there a physical symptom?
It's when people have a skin condition that produces inorganic fibers.
How can an organic being
Good question.
produce
Good
inorganic fiber?
Good question.
And also, when you say produce, do you mean just like secrete?
They find these weird, like I say, inorganic fibers.
I don't want to look at pictures.
All right.
It says in which individuals have sores that they believe contain some kind of fibers.
Mm-hmm. It was established when this broad had this little kid who had sores, and she looked at the sores under a microscope and found these fibers inside them. She took her son to see 8 different doctors, unable to find any disease, allergy, or anything unusual. So what I'm saying is, Amber, maybe it's not a white hair.
No!
Maybe it's maybe your body is spontaneously producing spider silk.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
That's kind of a leap, but it's the only logical conclusion. Have you had this long white hair tested for anything?
No, of course not. Why would I do that? It's just a hair.
It is not a hair, though.
I'm sorry, I'm reading about it.
Yes, read. And then look at the pictures.
I'm not looking at pictures. Because I feel like they're not going to be real pictures. I feel like this is just somebody thought, like they're scratching and they were getting like stuff in their sores.
Yeah.
And then finding it. And it has nothing to do with actually producing like the actual fibers.
Well, I think that's one opinion. I think that's one possible explanation.
I don't believe you. I think...
You don't believe that that's one possible explanation?
People who have Morgellons disease report the following signs and symptoms. And it just says skin rashes, crawling sensation, fibers in and on the skin, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, short-term memory loss, depressed mood.
There's lots of diseases that are only diagnosed through the symptoms they show, right?
I suppose.
I mean, depression.
Okay.
Fibromyalgia, right?
I mean, by that fibromyalgia, you could actually like X-ray and see like the things that are growing on. Oh wait, I'm thinking about a different thing.
You're thinking about Predator.
I'm thinking about multiple sclerosis.
Yep. Yep.
MS.
Yep.
Excuse me. Fibromyalgia is something different.
Yep.
But I thought also fibromyalgia has like I'm thinking something else too. Never mind. Don't worry about it. God, I don't know anything.
Yeah. Well,
just like I don't know presidents, I don't know diseases or conditions.
All right. So let's agree that neither one of us are doctors, and we don't know what's going on with our weird, gross, hairy, possibly sweaty, malformed, gross bodies.
I agree.
Okay. So I think that brings us to Pellets of Wisdom. Speaking of our sweaty bodies writhing around in agony, I think we have an appropriate question for that this week, don't we?
We do, actually. God, you're so good at segueing now. You can learn from the master.
I think it's the chair.
Oh,
this is the Segway chair.
Yeah, you're just sitting in my spot, so now you're gonna do it.
As it turns out, the chairs are the sentient ones.
Oh,
and they speak through us.
They speak up through your sweaty butthole.
Yes, puppeteers.
And out into through your mouth holes, your slobbery mouth hole. I'm sorry for my existence.
No.
Okay, so yes, we do have a question for us from Jacob, who's from St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
He says, "Hey guys, a friend and I are thinking of starting up a podcast like yours, but she's worried that someone will chop up and splice our content and make it sound like a porno. Any suggestions to keep this from happening or calm her fears?"
You know, here's the funny thing, Jacob. When Amber and I record this, it's actually a porno.
Oh, no, Dave!
And we actually re-edit it into Bringing Alice to Athens. So it's a fascinating question because really this whole process is just happening in reverse.
Not reverse, just a splice all over. Sorry.
I like how your reaction to this was Dave, not in reverse.
No, so don't do anything that I'm doing right now. Never have any episodes where you say
when you start with my boobs are really sweaty.
Or tell me about your balls. Okay, or talking about just in general your assholes, or things going up into your asshole, or coming out of your mouth, slobbering mouth hole. I'm thinking about. And then I'm thinking, now I'm just so worried that this is going to you shouldn't do a podcast. Nobody should be doing podcasts because anybody, anywhere can take anything out of context and throw it into the editing hole. God damn it, don't say hole! That's all I'm going to think about. Damn it.
Like, I'm intrigued but also repulsed by the thought of a supercut where everybody takes our terrible words and makes it into something awful.
I'm thinking about when we talked about the devil's dipstick.
Yep, devil's dipstick was for sure a thing.
So
don't make podcasts.
I just don't talk.
If that's your fear, don't make podcasts. Become a mime.
You could probably do streaming and just do sign language. Mm-hmm. That would work. Just don't do a podcast.
Right.
Because now that you've brought it to my attention, now that's all I'm going to think about.
Well, okay, if we're in for a penny, we're in for a pound.
I suppose so. God.
Amber, I'd like to introduce a new segment to Bringing Alice to Athens.
Okay. All right. You didn't ask me beforehand.
No, I didn't.
I don't like surprises.
It's called Pickle Time.
Okay. That's okay. I like pickles.
Yeah, you like pickles and you like time. Actually, time is my enemy.
Yeah, time is the devil.
Long story short, my father-in-law has a long and varied life of crazy, weird people. And he will occasionally start telling stories that are kind of a stripe, but also, like, there's no lessons. There's no, like, hey, kids, gather around Grandpa, and he's going to teach you some things. Yeah. It's none of that. They're just these terrible, awful stories, usually involving his friends at the flea market.
Because
he's a flea marketer.
Okay.
Both a buyer and a seller at various flea markets. Within the flea market world, he is known as Pickle.
All right. So hence Pickle Time.
Hence Pickle Time. Now, Pickle has lots of friends at the flea market. This particular story features Pickle's friend Blue.
Okay.
I actually don't know the origin of the name Blue. He's just Blue.
Okay. Pickle and Blue.
I mean, Blue and Pickle go back, and they've got a whole history. At one point, Blue stole a lawnmower from a guy and had Pickle hold it in case the cops came over looking for the stolen lawnmower. God. There's a whole thing here.
Okay.
But Blue was telling Pickle at one point that at the flea market, he knew this lady, and she would trade a Percocet for a blowjob.
Okay.
Right. I mean, like, again, these are pickle stories, so I don't know. Like, there's no
and like and this is small town,
right. It's fairly small town.
Okay.
It's not like a tiny town, but
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lady at the flea market that would
you would just go up to a booth.
I bet it wasn't a booth.
So
Let's say the back of a camper van.
Well, I'm just saying she wasn't like a flea marketer.
Probably not like an official thing.
So she just like goes to flea
Although
market.
truthfully, I don't know. Maybe she was selling her Longaberger basket or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, you got a Percocet for me? Come on back."
Don't mind the Boyd's Bears as I watch you.
Right.
Because like that's my question is like, is she just like there because like flea marketers have Percocet and also like she's just trolling there? Like I don't get it.
Like I again, there are more questions than answers in these stories, and I don't know either.
All right.
But here's the thing.
How much does a Percocet cost?
I don't know, but this lady.
Yes.
The deal was a Percocet for a blowjob. But if you were willing to pay more,
like actual cash,
like probably a Percocet and money.
Okay.
Maybe 2 Percocets. I don't know. If you were willing to pay more, she would take out her teeth.
Dave, what is this face you're giving me? What?
That's the story.
That is not a story. That's just I don't know what to you know how we talked about Annihilation and how you didn't like get it as like you didn't get it as like why this would be a compelling thing.
Yep.
I'm kind of in the same boat right now where I'm like there's too many questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not compelled by any of these characters.
No,
she didn't have a name.
No,
like you could.
I don't know the lady.
Well, good.
Right.
Because she'd be asking you for Percocet.
And I don't even have Percocet. And so when he tells us these stories and the grandkids are around, you can't ask the follow-up questions.
Okay, what are your follow-up questions?
Well, I mean, again, how much is a Percocet worth?
Yeah, is it like $50? Like a street? Like I got a prescription and $50 a pill?
No, Percocet's.
I remember at one point in time I had leftover pain meds. I can't remember which kind. It's like I can't remember what they're called
because of the pain meds.
Yeah, and I had like they gave me 20 pills for wisdom teeth removal. Right. I'm like, I'm not gonna take 20 fucking goddamn whatever they were. And I remember,
and so you're like, what am I going to do with these?
I flush them.
No, that's not good because it goes into the groundwater. You take them to the flea market.
I do not need a blowjob from. I'm going to call her Janice.
Yeah, her name is probably Janice.
Maybe there could be like this deal where like I sell people my leftover medicine and then they can give it to Janice because they want the blowjob.
Right.
So I cut a deal.
Yeah.
Like here, instead of selling my pain meds for $50,
you don't want the blowjob.
I just want the cash.
Right.
And so I'll sell it to you for $25.
Here's my guess: is Percocet probably has an embarrassing low street value.
Probably.
Like less than you're willing to suck a stranger's dick for. Yeah.
I wonder what her life is like.
Bad. I mean, other than the Percocet addiction.
I mean, maybe she.
Which is obvious. That's obviously what's going on here.
Yeah, obviously. But also, wow, pickle time.
Right.
Wow. I feel like I look exactly like you after you watched Annihilation. I wonder if she's still alive. Do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Because it wasn't that long ago.
Can we go to this flea market?
Yes.
Can we try and find this cryptid Janice?
Yes. Cryptid. No, I mean, most of those people are still there because it wasn't that long ago.
I thought this was like of old times.
No.
Like 40 years ago, back when I was in my prime flea marketing days.
Oh, no. Max, like 5 years ago.
We got to find Janice.
Yeah,
we
got
to take a picture.
We could do an on location.
That would be awful. I can't take a picture.
No, you don't take a picture, Amber.
I take a mine picture.
Just put a picture of me up there and be like, "This is Janice."
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Oh, Janice, why? It's not worth it. Or is it? I don't know your life. I shouldn't judge you. Do you, Janice?
And whoever walks up with a Percocet.
Wow. What a great episode today.
I don't know that you're being serious.
I'm not. This was awful. The entire experience from start to finish was like I had Morgellons disease. It was like a delusional...
You felt like there was something really, really wrong, but it might have just been inside you.
Okay. I gotta go.
I think this is pretty good.
I think this is probably the worst episode we've made so far.
I completely disagree with that.
Well, I just like how we agreed that we weren't doctors, I will agree to disagree that we have different tastes in what makes a podcast good.
I'm not saying this was enjoyable or comfortable.
Okay.
But I think it's good audio. Your reaction to that Pellets of Wisdom was awesome.
Oh.
It wasn't good.
Thanks, Jacob.
It wasn't good, but it was awesome.
Ooh. Well,
if you're the kind of sick, twisted pervert who liked this, I can't help you, but you can help us.
Ways that you could do that are...
to subscribe to Bringing Alice to Athens.
On iTunes.
Or however you get your podcast.
Leave a rating or review on iTunes.
Absolutely,
would be great.
Yep.
That helps us out a lot. You can follow us on our suspended Twitter once it becomes unsuspended.
Yeah, today we got a notification that Twitter had officially suspended at Bringing Alice to Athens because of our extreme and controversial content. And they were like, you can't put that on the internet. And we're like, oh yeah? Watch us. We're going to go to rogue Twitter. They said, no, we'll reinstate you. And we said, okay, but this is the last time, Twitter.
I think that's about it.
People can support us on patreon.com.
Oh, shit! You give us money.
Because we're part of the Geekspective Network.
This is true. And also, Dave and I are on different podcasts on the Geekspective Network. I have my own podcast called Shapeshift.
Yes.
And then we are both on Tales from Moxbury.
We have a $100 bet going as to who will get kicked out of Tales from Moxbury first.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Vez. That's my character.
But not even the person. That Josh will say, you, out.
Oh, that's you. Then that's not a problem. Who bet? Like, not me.
I wouldn't make that bet.
I wouldn't make that bet. That's ridiculous. You're out, obviously. You'd be the first to go. Jeez. Speaking of going, bye.